So hopefully now, with a little bit of the information that Simon and Matt have taken you through, you can see what C4L has to offer and why you should want to partner with us. And what I'd like to try and do now is to try and explain a little bit more about the partner program. Most of these details are available through our website, which is a little view here. But what I'd just like to pick out is a few of the specific reasons why our program is different, and to try and explain how we're going to operate it and how you can get signed up, with some differences of the different levels of tiers, because it's not just about pure resellers that we're really talking about here. There are more aspects to our partner program. And the very important fact that Matt mentioned in his presentation, and something that Simon mentions to me on a very regular basis, is that his target is that our partner network contributes 50% of our revenue within 3 years and beyond. So that's something that does represent some growth, and it shows that the focus is very much in that area. So that is something that we remember day in, day out, that Simon's very keen for us to focus on. So what is the C4L Partner Network? And we do abbreviate it to the CPN, but what it really is, it's a value-led program, and it's based on us building that joint relationship. And as we've said several times through here, it's not just about supporting resellers, it's about referral agents, it's about suppliers, it's about technology partners. We really do try and recognise everybody in that program so that we can try and provide as much information to work together. We call all the members of our partner network business partners, because that's what we really are trying to do. We're trying to do joint business together. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're generating new invoices. It just means that we're working together to generate the business that works for both of us. As Matt said, we need you as much as we would like you to need us. So it is a joint relationship. There are several aspects to the partner network, and there are several tiers. The first of those is associates. Then we move to professional and then executive. And these are the pure reseller tiers, if you like. Now, it is possible, of course, to be in multiple different types of tier, but these are the traditional reseller aspects of our partner program. There are, of course, a sliding scale of benefits as you move through those tiers, and we'll talk a little bit later about some of those benefits, but I'm not going to go into too much detail of those parts. But it's not just, as we said, about those resellers. There are two other key areas of our partner network that I'd like to reinforce as well. The first of those is the referral business partner, and actually we find this is probably one of the more successful parts of the relationship, because it's not just about those monthly invoices. It is about us recognising when there is business that could best be served by one of our partners. So, for example, if we uncover an opportunity for, say, a data center migration activity or a cabling opportunity, that we can pass those opportunities to our partners. And similarly, we expect that reciprocal behaviour. So it is something that we're very keen to assist, and the referral program sits to assist that, and it works very well with a lot of our suppliers as well to just recognise that and get quite a lot of the benefits that we provide to pure resellers. So you will get early access to our roadmap and extra support and training so that you're aware what it is we can offer so that you can make those referrals. And the second important part is our technology business partner. And again, this can be the data center providers that Matt was talking about. It can be infrastructure deliverers. It can be connectivity companies, original equipment manufacturers, really anybody in the industry that is delivering service or delivering equipment to us. And again, we find that that can be a referral arrangement, or it can just simply be something so that we can share information and we can just take those services really to the extreme, which is exactly what Matt's talking about. Those are cutting edge services within the industry, so we need that close relationship in order to deliver them. So what benefits can you expect to get delivered by the program? What can you expect, and why should you want to be a partner? There are clearly a number of the more traditional aspects of a partner program. It wouldn't be a partner program without it. There are a sliding scale of benefits. There are consistent tier levels and rewards. There are discounts that are applicable. I'm not going to go into all those details today, but they are there and they are available, and they are exactly what you would expect. We offer a dedicated partner team. So our partner team, some of which are here today, will certainly answer all those calls. You have a direct line into those guys. And as you move through the tiers, you get more dedicated access. You'll have a named account manager. You'll have access to executive sponsors. So right through to Matt and Simon will make themselves available to assist with bids, to assist with design, and to try and help you win the larger deals if necessary. We can even expand that out and bring in maybe our service delivery teams or our support teams so that they can try and assist you in closing business, because that's important to us. So we make the whole team available to you, not just the salesperson on the end of the phone. So in order to do that, what we try and do is build a joint business plan. And the word joint is certainly used a lot in this, but it's not something that we say lightly. We want to build a plan where we understand what you want and you understand what we can deliver, so that we can both get there together. It's not something that we just pay lip service to. It is very important to us to do that, and I'll come to that a little bit later on as well. But we're also quite happy to do joint marketing and joint sponsorship of events. We have a couple of events going on over the next few weeks. We're working closely with partners, whether that's just using our offices, performing data center tours in one of our facilities, or right the way through to co-sponsoring events and co-sponsored marketing activities and hospitality events. We're quite happy to get involved in all of those activities, and depending on the business and the return, then clearly we can look at co-funding of those events as well. From a more technical aspect, we also offer our partners more enhanced training. We'll give you access to technical materials and a great deal of collateral. We also make white label versions available for you, so you don't just have to put it out there as C4L, you can certainly turn it around. And as Matt explained, that's not just on our collateral, that's also on our portals as well. So our reseller portals with pricing and management do allow you actually to sell under your own brand and not necessarily under C4Ls if you choose not to, or co-brand if you'd like to take joint benefit from the two brands. So this definitely is not something you're going to see from the back of the room, but it is available on the website and all the literature on your desks. What I really wanted to draw your attention to is, as you can see, there is real benefit in trying to move through the tiers. There are criteria required to move through the tiers, but there are lots of areas where actually, no matter what tier you are with a business, you're important to us and you get access to the information that you require. It's simply the case that as you transit through the tiers, the requirements that we place on you in terms of forecasting and revenue, they grow, but we give you greater access to our resources, we give you more regular access to our updates, and we perhaps review those parts of your business plan on a more regular basis. So instead of annual, we move to quarterly, and then right at the top tier, we move to monthly reviews, and that'll be with your named account manager. So purely from a marketing perspective, then there is a great deal of literature already available on our website, and what we seek to do is make that much more widely available to our partners and try and build a much larger library. And we've been recruiting and building a stronger team to generate a lot of extra literature and collateral for our partners. That includes case studies and infographics, and pretty much anything that you can download from our website or anything that you might receive from our advertising. We can make that available to our business partners as well. And we also make available through our website access to things like our business plans and our partner information. So most of those are available online now, and I'd encourage you to take a look at that after this event. But again, as I mentioned, very happy to create joint collateral, and there are a few examples, in fact, in this room of people we're working with to generate joint case studies, just to try and reiterate that there is a good relationship between us, and that involves press releases, advertising campaigns. And we've certainly been involved not just in running joint events, but we have partners who run events on their own, under their own brand, but we just simply help them by maybe retweeting or just to providing additional support so that they get that extra weight to try and to win that business, which is really what we're really after at the end of the day. As I said, most of the information is on the partner website. The very top right-hand corner there is our main website, where we just provide basic information to explain to everybody why you'd like to join the program. If you move then through the red login at the bottom, which you can access through the website, that allows our business partners to log into a protected area. And dependent on your tier, you get served then the appropriate information. So if you're in, say, for example, the very top tier, you'll get access to all the white labeled access. You have access to your account management, you have support information, and various other resources. We also make certain information regarding events and co-sponsorship available through that portal, and ultimately things like the management interface and billing interfaces that Matt mentioned that are rolling out as part of our network upgrade, they'll be available through there too. And it's extremely likely that we'll make access through to quoting engines such as access to our Salesforce database, all available through this portal, and again, white labeled so that you can turn it around and push it out to your end customers. So that's all through this area, and again, we'll provide information about that after the event. So how do you go ahead and join? So the first thing that's most important to remember about this program is not about retrospective performance. It's important and it's informative to us, but it is very much based on forecast revenues, and there's a very good reason why we do that. But it is based on looking forwards and working out what we're going to be doing together as we move forwards. There are a number of key onboarding steps that we move through. They are not designed to be onerous, they're just designed to make sure that everybody understands what it is we can do together and how we're going to work together. So that initial request comes through the marketing or the partner team, through the website or picking up the phone, and we go through an initial qualification. And actually, it really is the same regardless of what type of partner you want to be, whether you have an existing relationship. It's something that we step through just to try and get an understanding. We move through creating business plans, and we understand when and how we're going to review those plans and what the pipeline looks like. So that initial qualification process, as I said, is exactly the same for all business partners. And clearly, if you have an existing trading or supply relationship with us, that can speed that through. But it is really almost as simple as getting those initial details out of the way so that we're clear and understand exactly who and what everybody is that's involved in it, and getting all the right contacts in place. But at that point, what we like to do is, because this is the beginning of a relationship, it isn't a tick box exercise on a form, you will, and on the whole, try and talk to someone in the partner team, because what we want to try and understand is, what is it that we can jointly do? What are the benefits and expectations that we both want out of it? Why do you want to be in the partner program? If it's just purely about price, that's fine, we can understand that. But there's a lot more that we'd like to offer. We don't want this to purely be driven on, well, I want to be a high level of partner because I get the highest level of discount, because there's a lot more value to the program than just that aspect. We discuss the joint values that we have. We try and understand whether there's a good cultural fit, because as Simon indicated, it's something that's very important to us, that we work well in particular ways with one another. We look at the strategies for dealing with things like split deals and ring fencing, because again, sometimes that can be necessary. It's not always as clear-cut as it might be, and sometimes it's useful to have that debate up front just so that we can understand that and capture what happens if we hit that particular opportunity. And of course, we do look at the current and historical position. If we've got a trading relationship, that can help to inform and understand what the current situation is and what activities we need to focus on. Then we move to just capturing that in a joint business plan. It sounds very onerous, but it is something that we do on your behalf. It's really just laying out that criteria to understand how we're working together, and it is bespoke per partner. It is based on a form, clearly, but what we're really trying to do is capture exactly what makes this particular relationship different, because we recognise that everyone is. It is based on an overview and understanding the value proposition in both directions. It's about capturing those joint visions and goals. And it is about identifying the objectives for the next year. And clearly, there's a greater focus on those objectives that are happening in the next maybe 3 months than those that are happening 3 years away. But if we all understand, as Matt's explained today, where we're going over the next 3 years, if that aligns with where you want to go, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, then we can discuss how we might modify that so that we can make sure that our end point is the same as yours as well. We also capture any actions or timelines that are necessary, because it may be that we can't do anything right now, or there are certain criteria that need to be in place before we can work together. And we just capture those at that early stage so that everybody is understanding. And what we do internally is pass that through the whole company. So it's not the case that it's just the partner manager who understands. It's important that the support manager understands, the service delivery manager understands, the finance team understand, because if you don't have that across the whole business, then next time you pick up the phone, if that person, you have to re-explain the whole history of the relationship, that really isn't working. Once we get to the end of that form, we can sign that off, and that's really the point at which you're we're in a joint agreement, and a contract is not necessarily the right word, but what we're really doing is that we're understanding and agreeing how we're working together and under what the terms and conditions. And most importantly, we agree when we're going to next review that, whether that's on a regular basis or whether that's annually. We then go through a performance review, and again, this is usually in the same kind of meeting in the same sort of time, so it's not a lengthy process. It's just important to understand what it is we're doing. What we're really trying to do there is to try and really begin to nail down what the performance has been in the past, what deals have closed in the last financial year, particularly if they've been joint deals or ones where we could have worked together in the past. And we try and identify how successful we've both been and whether we could have been more successful by working differently. And it's really to try and understand what your deals look like and what your cycles look like. Because if you are in an industry that has a 12-month cycle, then we need to understand that so we can provide the right resource at the right time versus someone who needs to close a lease line, as Matt said, in 20 minutes and deploy the next day. Because we can be flexible and we can react, but we need to understand that going into it, otherwise it becomes a surprise for us all. And that's not the right where we want to be. And then really the last and most important part that we look at is to try and look at the prospective business, because that's really what this is all about, is to try and understand how we're going to work together. And this is actually, regardless of whether or not you are a reseller or referrer or even a technology partner, it still helps to understand what you're really focused on over the next few months, because that's something we can really seek to influence, whereas obviously the past is just informing us a little bit. And what's really important about identifying this prospective business is it helps us to plan our network growth, because as Matt said, we've been working on our network growth for the last year. We will continue to do so. There is definitely a continued plan. There are a number of different avenues we can take our network expansion in, but we need to understand what it is that's required. So we do have to take a lot of information from our partners, understand what's required, where is the network bandwidth going to need to grow, where do we need additional co-location space, which countries are important to you if we go outside of the UK. So if you can inform us with that information and give us what's in your pipeline, then we can understand where we need to focus our resources and focus our time. Clearly, as I said, we have a specific focus on the next 1 to 3 months, because that's very important to us, and pretty much every business partner, regardless of their tier, we would want to be speaking to on that kind of frequency. So although we may officially only modify the joint business plan on a less regular basis, we really need to understand what's going on in the next 1 to 3 months, because that's what will cause us the most potential pain if we don't identify what's coming down the pipeline, if you suddenly need enormous capacity in a data center that's perhaps scheduled for a slightly later upgrade. So if we understand that, then we can deliver you exactly what you need. Also at that point, we can look at whether or not there are any complicated deals, any large or complex deals, anything that needs a special bid process, anything that needs ring fencing, anything that we need to just allocate those different resources to. And as I say, that may mean that we need to send Matt or Simon along to a particular event to have the appropriate level of gravitas for you to win a piece of business. It may mean that we send our pre-sales technical guys just to really prove what's going on. We could even go as far as doing proof of concept and test connections for particular types of business. So we're willing to go that extra mile, but we need to understand what's coming. So that's why that forecast is probably the most important part and the bit that we focus on most and the bit that we review most regularly. So let's summarise what the C4L Partner Network is about. It is a collaborative and reciprocal program. We are working together. There are a fairly standard set of benefits that you would expect, but there are those where we try and go that extra mile just to make sure that we deliver exactly what everybody needs in order to be jointly successful. We give you good access to training, marketing collateral, and we give you access to named C4L staff right away up to and including. And I'd encourage you to speak to Matt and Simon, because they do have a very good perspective on where the business is going and how we can assist you with that. So then they're more than willing to talk to any of our business partners. And additionally, there are other benefits that we have planned over the next few weeks and months. Events such as today, and that's obviously I think the ticket that you would have seen today for this event. This is the first of what we hope to be a more regular series of events. Now, whether they're all in London, whether we choose to run some closer to home in perhaps our Bournemouth data centre, or whether we decide we need to move them to other facilities. So, for example, a lot of our network upgrade is around maybe more northern parts in Manchester and so on up through the country, just to try and get that full network coverage where it's required. So we're happy to run those sorts of events, and we certainly expect to publish a programme of events that we'll invite people along to. We will also seek to run a number of webinars and updates through the course of the year. There'll be training webinars, there'll be training events, and there'll just be general roadmap updates as well, because we recognise that what you need to know is not just what we can do right now, and we can train you on what we have at the moment. You really need to get that early access to the roadmap, because that gives you the cutting edge over those people that aren't so close as our business partners. So we'll give you early access to the roadmap, and what we'll try and do is undertake a regular update on a quarterly basis so that you get good visibility of what's on stream and what we've done in the last few months. And last and not least, we will be launching an annual partner awards evening. That's something I'd like to see everybody here attending and perhaps us receiving an award. And it allows us just to recognise those people that have been particularly achieved in particular areas across the business. And we'll try and make that as fun event as possible. But obviously, it's going to be perhaps a few months away now. So what are the next steps? Well, you can speak to any of us here. There are a number of C4L staff around. You'll spot the white lanyards rather than red ones. So for those of you who haven't met everybody yet, you can contact your account manager. You can even go through the website and ask for additional information. We'd encourage you to come and talk to us and ask us any questions, particularly if you want to find out a little bit more about what Matt and Simon have planned for the network. And then we can begin to draw up our plans, draw up our mutual rewards, and get people using our logos, because we would like you to be proud to use our logos and to be associated with us, because we would reciprocally be proud to work with everybody in the room. So, thank you very much for listening.